way if we're on my podcast, but for today. All right, and we're live. We're here.
Hey,
how was your weekend? I'm so excited. This is great. So Melanie, I'm really excited, you guys, to bring Melanie here today because Melanie has a wealth of knowledge that she's going to be sharing with us on how we cope, as managers, as leaders, as everything through this with the COVID-19. So Melanie Parish, welcome to the Lead Up for Women page, and welcome as one of our Facebook live chats. And we welcome you as an expert and a leader.
Thank you so much for having me. I am super excited to be here with you, Colleen, and it's really fun to come on Facebook Live with you. I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to be here. And
awesome.
I can't wait what we
well,
talk
just
about.
As a reminder to everyone who's watching, this is our 19th Facebook Live that we've done, and we are bringing our members, our experts, forward to be able to share with you, motivate you, inspire you, and educate you through this time. Now, we've seen a lot of panic, we've seen a lot of fear, and Melanie, it seems like you are a light leader out there, shining your lamp bright for others, because we're really turning that fear into freedom and that panic into possibility. So what is we are free to create any possibility through this that we can. And so I welcome you to share your brilliance with our community and share with them your advice on how you've been managing through this and how you've been giving advice to others to manage through this.
Sure. And maybe I should tell you a little bit about me first. I've been an executive coach for 20 years, and I coach leaders in a variety of sectors. I have clients in healthcare. I have clients in tech. I have a client who is a New York Times bestselling author 6 times and who has a line of supplements. And all of these people are leading in the world, and I get to talk with them and I get to hear their stories and their challenges, and I'm able to respond to them. And so 7 years ago, I started working on a book, and here it is. It's called The Experimental Leader: Be a New Kind of Boss to Cultivate an Organization of Innovators.
Ooh, I love that.
And the book is on sale. It goes live tomorrow. I'm super excited.
Okay, so
for 7 years.
That's so great, and it finally comes to fruition. And it's a great time to have a book out there because, we've been talking a lot about educate yourself right now. Grab an extra book, read, learn what you need to learn so that when we come out of this, we're even stronger than we were when we came into it. So just a reminder to everyone that Melanie will put all of her information in the comment section below, so you guys can just click on the link to go get her book. That's super exciting.
I'm really excited too. And I feel like, you might think to yourself, gosh, somebody should write a book about experimenting right now because everybody's doing it. But I did. And here we are. So it's a little crazy to launch a book in a pandemic.
I don't think so.
But I'm super excited. So
I don't think so at all. I really think that it's really your perspective on this, because launching it during a time where everybody is educating and reading and taking additional time to connect and learn, I think it's one of, to me, the best times to do it. And the other thing is, even when we're out of this, if you wanted to do a book tour and be, in person, you can still do that coming out of this. This just gives you an opportunity now to have people that are at home have the ability to read it. So again, I just think it's the perspective.
Well, I agree. I am telling my clients all the time, they want to come out of this time better. This is a time to scale up. Like, this is a time to increase skill level, build new skill level, pivot. My daughter is, she's a chef and she's out of work. But we're in Canada, so she's fairly well supported with the CERB benefit from the Canadian government. And she's thinking about becoming a project manager. She's got time. She can afford the retooling.
Yeah.
And it's an amazing time to try something new for people. It's and so I think it's easy to sort of spin with all of the data, watch the numbers on, all of the COVID-19. But I think it also is a time to turn those things off and to look inward and to really reflect on who you want to be when this is all over. You don't want to go unconscious through this and be exactly the same when you come out of it. You want to figure out what you want more of in your life, how you want to, what you want to receive from the world from a different place when this is over.
I love that. That's one of our tips I'm going to put down. So you first already talked about increasing your skill level, right? Are you happy with what you're doing? We talk a lot in Lead Up for Women about having more, being more, doing more. Be the best version of yourself that you can be. And I think that's exactly what you're talking about. Really tap in and listen to your heart, like get out of here and get into here and really figure out like what lights you up and what is it that you really want to be doing. And for some of you, you may already be doing that. So how could you be doing more of that? How could you serve more people? How can you reach more people with your products if that's what you're delivering? And I think your second tip was really about deciding, what you want to receive from life. What are you looking for to receive and grow? I love that. That's wonderful.
Well, and the other thing is you want to really be clear on timelines. So right now, some businesses don't have any customers at all. They're closed. The doors are closed.
Yeah.
And those businesses may have to do some things to try to keep themselves in business.
Sure.
But if they're going to be in business when this is all over, then they want to extend their vision in this time. They want to be thinking 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. What can they put in place now? Is it a blog full of great articles? Is it a resource library? Is it a podcast? I'm launching a podcast. It's like my pandemic podcast.
So great.
Because I never have time when I'm traveling. The rest of the time I could never launch a podcast because it's such a time, it takes some time to get it scaled up. It'll be easy to maintain, but I'm super excited to do a podcast in this time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So extend your time frame. On the other hand, those who have customers right now need to shrink their time frame. They need to be asking, what do their customers need today and how can they provide it? What's the new experiment that they can try today to meet their clients' needs? There's a 100-year-old food store in the town I live in. It's been there, 105 years or something. It started out as a greengrocer, and now it's like an Italian gourmet food store. And they have changed their rules in the last 3 weeks, probably 10 times. First it was only 7 people in the store at one time. Then it was 5. Then it was 3. They're doing pickup at the curb. They're doing, they're making prepared foods. You order ahead. They're doing delivery. They are busier now than they've ever been because they're pivoting, and they're not pivoting once. They're pivoting over and over and over again.
Yes. Yes. And I'm glad that you mentioned that, because just like that restaurant that has been there for 100 years, that tells you why fix something that's not broken, right? That would be the mindset. Why fix something that's not broken? Well, if we're in an unprecedented time, that means it's nothing we've ever experienced in the past. So if we've never experienced it in the past, we can't keep doing things the way we've always done them. So now is the time to look at how many branches of your trunk of your business, your main business, how many branches is it required for you to continue to grow? And maybe it's not that one delivery that you used to have of how you delivered your product to the consumer. Maybe it's 5 or 6. And that also is great, because the more that you are diverse in that area and the more that you have additional branches, the more recession proof you are.
Yes. Well, and then the other thing is, think about your client acquisition costs. I had a client who sent me a note and said, I have to give you notice. He's looking for work. He's in IT. He's afraid. And he said, I need to give you notice because you asked for a month notice. And I can't continue to commit to coaching right now. And so I said, well, we'll talk on Tuesday. And so I said, I don't think you need to stop coaching. I think you need to stop paying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all your money and I'm going to give you my pandemic special, which is 3 months for the price of one.
Mm-hmm.
He was thrilled. He was like, no, I didn't want to stop coaching, but I do need to stop paying.
Mm-hmm.
But for me as a business owner, I don't want to have to reacquire him after this is over.
Yeah.
If really it gets to be 3 months from now and he can't afford coaching, then we can have a different conversation. But it also buys us some time to see where we are in 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
His level of hope may change. He's still doing job interviews.
Mm-hmm.
He's highly desirable. He may have a job by then. And I sort of said, if you have a job, maybe you'll just decide to pay me.
Yeah. There's a lot of opportunity out there. And I think you stepped on something and mentioned and highlighted something that was very important for us to mention, which is now is not the time to shy away from education, to shy away from things that are investing in yourself or your business. And so even though that's the first place that people are looking to cut costs on, no, I can't afford, like coaching's a luxury. I don't see coaching as a luxury. It's like the community lead up for women. We're the vessels. We're the portals for you to keep getting your message out there, for you to be seen in the world, for you to show up. The last thing you want to do is to retreat from that and become small. The plan here is, how can I continue growing, continue being coached, continue getting my message out there, and continue showing up and being seen? Because who do you think people are going to remember when this is over? The ones that were the leaders in the front, that were inspiring, educating, and motivating.
Well, and I went through this, and I don't know, maybe you did too, with the recession in 2008.
Oh yeah, I have 11 grandkids, so I've been around for a long, long time. I was in real estate then, in commercial real estate.
It was rough. And at that point, I had a whole roster of corporate clients. They lasted about a year, and then all of a sudden, all of it was gone. And so I sort of made my business recession proof. I have individual clients, not large corporate clients. But what I also know, and I think it's also one of my tips, is don't be afraid to offer discounted services or something that will work for people to keep yourself engaged with your thinking and your profession during this time, even if you're not making what you're quote unquote worth or were worth before. Fill your day with work. Like, figure out how to fill your day. Meaningful work is such a valuable thing during times of crisis.
Yeah.
So experiment with what you like to do. Try something for a week, see if you like it. Start a blog. It's a good time to blog because it makes you ponder and think, and it gets you in touch with your client. Yeah. It makes you try to think about their point of view and to try to write from their point of view. Mm-hmm. And it helps you deliver a message to them that will, if you can get your finger on the pulse of your client and understand what they're feeling, it will allow you to deliver products when this is over, or even during this time.
Yeah, I agree with you. And thank you for that. I think that message is very strong. By discounting and making it affordable for your clients to continue working with you. You can even move payment and, pro rata share, where you're moving, you can move some of your payment and prorate it to the end, right? So if you wanted to do that, mortgage companies are doing that, banks are doing that.
It's a great idea.
It's a possibility, because you're not discounting the value that you bring to your client. You're basically telling them and sending the message that, hey, I value you so much as a client, and know that I bring so much value to you that this is when you don't want to let me go. This is when we need to stay together and still continue working. And so I think that's a great point that you bring up, especially for all the coaches that are out there. When I was coaching back in the recession time, I come from corporate America. I don't know if you know that. And I've coached over 300 CEOs. That was when the real estate market was bleeding out, and it really just became a conversation. And instead of putting our heads in the hole, like you see the picture of, all the ostriches with their heads in the hole, instead of putting our heads in the hole and being in the dark, now is the time where you need to open up communication and have those times. And I think, Melanie, you're a great example of that open communication when your coach said, hey, or when your client said, I can't afford this anymore. You're not just about somebody paying you for your service. There's so much more of what you offer to your clients. Then, you can do value adds. It's a great time to do value adds. So bundle things that generally you maybe would have individually pay for, and bundle the value of the things that you offer other people. This is not a time to be fearful or panic or get into this downward spiral. This is the time to hold your head high. Reach out to any of our experts, especially Melanie here. If you're looking for, if you are an executive leader and you're leading a team of employees, and this is a really tough time for you, especially if you're in HR, and you need the assistance. Again, now is not the time to be stripping all of your costs back and not spending a dime. The government is there. If you haven't read the CARE Act, I want you to go read it. I want you to apply for it. We've done webinars on it where I brought in experts that were financial strategists, and we've done webinars. If you want the webinar, all you have to do is contact me directly and I'll send it to you. But there's money out there for you to be able to recover from this. So that's peace of mind, to know that we don't have to suffer and that we can still continue to grow and learn and thrive through this, and not just have to barely be at the bottom of the barrel surviving,
Well, and I have clients who are getting raises right now in tech.
Yep.
Don't assume that no one has money right now.
Right.
There are plenty of people with money, and their disposable income just increased astronomically. I have nowhere to shop.
Right. I have nowhere to go eat. I have nowhere to go watch a movie. I have nowhere to go shop.
Groceries.
Right. And we're all eating at home, which saves a ton of money.
It saves a ton of money. My restaurant bill was crazy. My eat at home bill is crazy too. I have 2 15-year-old boys, but
that's crazy.
But I have disposable income now. I'm not traveling. I'm not going on any vacations. I'm not paying for competitive swimming. I'm not paying for a choir trip to Hong Kong. I am not commuting anywhere. My gas bill alone is free income that somebody could take from me with joy if they could offer me something of value that I wanted.
I love that. It's a great message.
Yeah. So there is money available. So don't ever assume there's no money available. For some people, I sent a check to our local food bank this week because they need help. Yeah. We all have to do our part for those who are not covered, but there are so many people who are not suffering because there's all these things in place to help people in both the US and Canada. So I think it's important to remember that money is available. This is not a contraction where people are scared so far. So far, it's a contraction that we've been put away in our houses to get help to stay healthy. Yes. But it's not a fear contraction. It's different. We don't actually know. We've never done this before. So we actually all have to experiment to see, like, what does this look like? What does client acquisition look like? Yeah. And we have to try things. The other thing I'll say is when I'm planning experiments right now, the experiment I tried 3 weeks ago may work differently next week because the sort of combined consciousness is changing, depending on how long we've been self-isolating. The rules are changing. So we have to not only experiment and see if it worked, but we have to assume an unstable environment where the environment changes and the experiments need to be repeated.
Yeah, That's great advice as well. So, Melanie, thank you for joining us today and providing all of this insight, so many insights and silver linings to what we're going through right now. So, again, just sharing a little bit of what we covered today. You know, try something new, increase your skill level. If it's something that you love to do already, increase your skill level in what your genius is already. You know, decide what you want to receive from life. How can you grow? How can you give? Right? It's also about giving and setting timelines. So build your plan now, then pivot, then build it, then pivot, then build it, then pivot. So we have to be able to be flexible during this time. And don't see any of those pieces as you being a failure because something didn't work. This is a time that we've never done it before. I just call it course correcting, something I've always called it. And don't be afraid to discount your services or value adds or package things or bundle things and do what it is that you need to do because it doesn't discount your expertise, your genius, or your value of what you do. So this is a time where the economy can still continue to thrive. We have a lot of extra money and there's a lot of silver linings in this. So Melanie and I would like to challenge all of you to find the silver linings in everything that's happening right now and see the positive.
Can I just tell them about my pre-sale campaign? Do you mind if I do that?
Yeah,
no, so until tomorrow night, if you buy my book, The Experimental Leader, you can find it on Amazon. If you go to my website at melanieparish.com, there's a pre-sale campaign, or you can just email me in the contact form and I will enter you. But if you do it, you get a free digital workbook that you'll want as you go through it. It's the best thing I could come up with. It was recommended by my clients. They wanted it. And then there's a $299 course that you get absolutely free when you buy the book called Overcoming the Loneliness of Leadership. And this is good for you if you're just a leader in your own life or if you're actually leading people. And you get entered to win a session with me. And I would love to meet somebody from this community. That would be so amazing.
Great.
And then finally, you get a sneak peek at the introduction and the first chapter. So you can start reading right away when you order. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you. Melanie's going to put all that information below in the comment section. So make sure you guys scroll down from this video and go into the comment section and click all of her links. And that's a massive value of what she's giving away. So Melanie, thank you for being so generous to our community. For all of you that are watching, please share this with a friend. It's very, very important that we, sharing is caring and we're all caring for others. So share for other women that you know may need these services that Melanie offers and for them to be able to get some of these free downloads. It's wonderful. Thank you, Melanie, so much for being with us today.
Oh, thank you for having me. It was so fun to get to spend some time with you.
So great. All right, you guys have a wonderful Monday. We'll talk with you later. Bye.